Greetings, Mandrake here. This is Mission 6, Conservatory, on the difficulty Legendary, with all skulls on, except for Bandana. This mission does not feature anything where you have to really plan for the ending, or plan much or carry much for the big fights at the end. We'll get to those as we get there. However, this is one where
I wonder what the banished are looking for down here.
I'll be juggling a certain set of weapons throughout the majority of this mission, and it's, you know, some of these items are optional. So I'll be juggling or carrying the BR and the plasma pistol as my loadout, and which are full, by the way, when this started. And weapons I'm going to be carrying will be rockets, pulse carbine, sword, and optionally the heat wave. My shield is full, and oddly, the dialogue is not coming through the audio. You can hear all the other sounds, but you can't hear the weapon or chief. Not sure what was going on there. But you'll be able to hear them coming up soon, next time they talk. So I just wanted to get back so the grunt wouldn't see me, but apparently he's already alerted or is already pre-programmed, scripted to be alerted, and his shield on, so I was hoping to either just like headshot him or just get a few punches on him, but I had to punch him all the way out. I didn't want to use, I guess you can say I didn't want to use any plasma pistol on him. There's really nothing to collect in this room. Just looking down, that's just the next room we'll be going to. You got this little side hall ramp that you go down. Down into this little curved room here. There's a pulse carbine I'll be picking up, and I'll be juggling that down. And so, like I was saying, I'll be juggling and carrying the plasma pistol, pulse carbine, because most enemies have a shield that you'll need to remove, so you can get an easy headshot. Wasn't a good throw. I was thinking he was dead, and he comes back, and that rocket almost killed me. Punched this guy quite a bit.
I'm under fire.
One more. Alright, I'll get 2 rocket launchers. At minimum, bare minimum, I've got a rocket launcher with 2 shots. There's a chance it could have a few more shots in it. 1 or 2 more. But the thing is, one of those brutes fired the rocket launcher, which theoretically, at minimum, will have 1 shot. Sometimes if they don't shoot, if you're able to get them without them shooting, you might get 2 shots in it, or like a 2-in-1, 2 in the clip and then 1 in reserve at best, like a 2-in-1. But I'm, got blind on, so I'm unsure what I ended up with. So I'll just run around and just pick up others until I get 1 maxed out. And I'll just keep a maxed rocket launcher with me and just juggle that around. These guys here present a particular challenge here, so I just went with a nade, and then just went with just kind of shooting them. And it really should only be like a couple shots to take the helmet off, but it's really like, it can be 3 shots to remove the helmet and then 1 headshot. And the headshot itself doesn't seem to always work right unless I'm really missing. Now, this room, what you want to do is get all your weapons. If you're going to be moving a stockpile, you get into this room, you get a foothold, then get your weapons in here, because once you approach that door that exits this room, the door you just came through will lock, and there's no going back. So anything that is in the previous room or whatever, you want to be bringing it along and get it through in here. Up ahead is 2 more grunts and an elite, and the elite is kind of a bit of a special challenge. What I forget is my equipment. Say the grapple is maxed out, so I can grapple pound or grapple ground pound, and if you do it right, you can get a kill on most enemies, like the brutes and elites, which are, you know, going to be the most challenging. And yeah, I guess for whatever reason I was not thinking of that. So I've got this rocket launcher, probably with it's probably really close to being full. It's probably like a 2 and 2 at minimum, but it could be a 2.5, 2.6 at best. So I'm looking, I guess, for a plasma nade. And I think I see one, and I'm deciding on grappling it, and it worked that time. Most of these rooms are going to be a bit of a slow play. There are options. There's plenty of options with an elite, and you know, with the weapons. You know, like I said, the stockpile of weapons to bring along. You've got options. So it's always just thinking, you know, what option am I going to go with? How much ammo you got with this and that, and kind of going with it. So now I just whittled it down to the elite, and options are, I guess, you can do like, and that's usually the common thing is OPP, stick them with the plasma, and OPP headshot. But in this case, I'm gonna go with the rocket launcher, and it'll work. This time it'll work. And okay. Yes, I just, you know, there's a plasma nade there, so yeah, my plasma nades are full. I don't know if my plasma nades are selected. I think I only threw one, so they should be selected. Find if you throw both of your nades, it defaults to the frags, and whatever nade is remaining, whatever's the last one remaining, then of course that's going to be selected. I typically don't throw the frags or use the frags unless it's by accident, which I think there's somewhere in this mission I accidentally throw frag. And there it is, the door. Like I said, I entered that door down below or approached it, and this door is locked. There's no going back. Yeah, and that room that was just in, that has a kinetic ammo dispenser. This room is a room with a single seed, power seed, needing to open the door up ahead. And so I'm just waiting for a shot. I want to take out, at least get a shot or two on some shield, or at least grunt majors, because they'll activate their shields, and you've got to use, you know, either plasma pistol or pulse carbine, remove their shields. So in this room, you've got a sniper on the left side, sniper on the right side. There's 2 elites, one on the left, one on the right. You've got some jackal majors. I just took one out. There's going to be a couple more, I think, on the right side. There's a jackal minor. There's another major. There's another major there. So that's 3 majors that are down. And on the left side is a jackal minor. Got this elite kind of chasing. I thought I had the BR out, and I was swinging with the sword. Took a lot of shots to try and get him down. Here, I'm just going to try and get back to the door and get through the door. They will not chase or pursue you through the door into this room. They can and will throw nades in here, though. So I was saying, as far as options, got options with these two elites. The good news is they're not going to be working together, or you don't have to deal with two of them. You just deal with one at a time. Only one of them is going to be, you know, aggressive and coming at you like this one here. So here's the OPP stick, and then I tried for the OPP again, and I couldn't get it to charge. So I just kind of peppered them. Didn't have the plasma pistol out. So there's the OPP, the stick. The OPP missed because he camoed. And being that he was visible from shooting, I was able to stun him again. There's two plasma ammo dispensers, so I'll be able to refill the plasma pistol, and the pulse carbine can get refilled. I think that plasma pistol I picked up was from the Jackal miner that died. All these brutes, brutes, all these grunts are going to be carrying disruptors, so I'm not going to get anything useful from them, except maybe a shield recharge. Yeah, one of the, so here I'm going to get the sword, and I'm going to consolidate the sword into a single sword. Look around, there should be 3 of them, because I carried one in here. I want to say I carried one in here. I killed 2 elites in here, and I think there was one from the one from the previous room, from that horseshoe room. And so with 3 of the swords, I should have, when I get the other one, it'll be full. And I get plenty of heat waves, but I only have like maybe 2 uses for a heat wave. If I want to get up close to do close quarters with a brute, then I can do that. Just kind of fire it 3-4 times, remove his shield, punch him until he dies, and then you can do the same with a grunt. You get close, fire 3-4 times, remove the shield, and just kind of punch him or headshot him. If you're needing a shield, it comes handy for that. Just kind of close quarters with the heat wave. One of the downsides with it is it bounces off of walls and can bounce right back to you and damage you. You're just going to make sure if that happens, you get your melee after you fire it, after you've taken damage. But as it turns out, I'm not really using the heat wave. I don't think I will use it. I don't even think if I use it in this mission, so I'm not sure how much further I carry a heat wave along. This might be the last room I bring it along, or that I have it with me. I think I'll leave it alone. We're down to 2 grunts. And here's the power seed.
To find a power source to get that door open.
I'm going to do a little fast forward on this portion of just juggling these weapons. There's some other sections where, I juggle them, I speed it up and move it along, and then there's some areas where I didn't, and as I went and looked back at it, there's some areas I probably should have fast forwarded to kind of shorten this down.
We're stuck here until you find a power source to open that door.
I think both of these items I'm carrying are full,
Looks like
so
the
both
Banished are
the
trying to
plasma
stop us
pistol
moving
and the
forward.
sword is full.
Can you open it?
Of course. If you can magic up a terminal of some kind. Or find an alternative power source to get this door open.
The rocket launcher is close to being full. I don't use the rocket launcher that much in this mission. The one place that it will get the majority of its use will be at the arena fight with the skimmers, or the flying octopus monkeys.
We need to find a power source to get that door open.
And I'm just running back to make sure the sword is full.
There we go. Simple.
Here, I just run back with the pulse carbine and max out its ammo and get it refilled. That one's already emptied. This next room was a bit of an oddity for the start, because as I'm looking through the doorway, there's no enemies, but I get close to the doorway or step right up to the doorway, and then they spawn in. And that was kind of an unfortunate thing. I step through, and there they are, and I'm ready to get my shot on them, and they wake up, or whatever happened. So I couldn't get any kills on, or early kills on them. You know, I had the wrong weapon out. The other thing that I didn't do as I look back on this, I should have used the drop wall. Because I got a drop wall, it would have saved me for at least one rocket, and then the wall would be gone, but that's about all I would need it for, just protect me for just at least one rocket would have been enough. I got my shield back. I gotta find my way back to the plasma pistol. And it doesn't grapple. Rather grapple the ground. There's a change that was made. Up at the top there, you'll see a jackal sniper. He's got a stalker. And in that middle area of the ground level, there's a mule. He's got a bulldog and a commando. I think he's carrying a plasma pistol, so he drops that too. Here, I want to move up and headshot this skirmisher. And in doing so, he's going to throw a nade. And I think that's a jackal major. And I got to contend with this guy here. I realize I don't have the right weapon. I'm just going to have to do a melee dance with him. So 3 melees to take his shield out, and then 2 melees after his shield goes down. I find times that I'll use like the pulse carbine to remove his shield, and then in many cases 4 melees will get the kill once the shield is down. But I guess there was some kind of bleed through with the melee and the shield. So another, or I say another mule? Maybe I just hadn't killed that mule yet. Perhaps there's 2 of them. Yeah, so there's 2 mules, I guess. Because there's some weapons down there that were dropped like a frag. They can drop a frag. I'm gonna take that, get rid of him so he doesn't shoot me in the back. He drops a stalker rifle, which I'll bring along. It won't get a lot of use, but it will get a pretty good use in this next room, the room that has the 2 power seeds to open a door. It'll get used there, but beyond this room, beyond here, it's not going to get much use, and I'm just being prepared and always bring it along as a just in case. I always feel like can always be used for it, and it just brings about more of an option, more options. I'm going to speed this along. It's just juggling weapons. I believe this rocket launcher is full because of brutes. And I'm just going to carry the full one. I'm going to leave behind the spares. Leave behind the spare. I can refill my BR with the kinetic ammo dispenser. As you saw on that rack, there's a full plasma pistol and 2 pulse carbines. So it's just kind of a room I can come back to for ammo. And I had a run through where I did have to come back to this room 2 or 3 times for whatever reason, either shooting, missing, or whatever the case was. But in this run, I don't recall coming back to this. I may have come back for something, but it worked out where I didn't use a whole lot of plasma pistol or a whole lot of pulse carbine. I had plenty. I think one of the things, looking back, I think I moved all the weapons back up here because at that doorway, the enemies like to throw nades and they'll find their way, pretty much just through the doorway. So I'm just going to keep some of the weapons up top here so they don't get blasted around and have to hunt them down. And what I will carry down below is the plasma pistol and pulse carbine, which it looks like I'm carrying a spare plasma pistol, which, yeah, is all fine to do because you use a lot of it on this grunt. Lots of grunts. I don't use a plasma pistol on the brute majors because it takes 2 charges, overcharged plasma pistols to take out a shield. And that's just too much. So 3 volleys with a pulse carbine works fine. Here what I'm doing is I didn't want to be seen passing by the door, so I'm just climbed around so I wouldn't be seen, and I'm going to get threat sensor on the other side. And I'm looking for grunts to shoot before they get their shield, before they activate their shields. And there was a jackal sniper in the middle there. Now this room is a bit of a challenge. Now that the brutes know what's going on, they're going to start firing their rockets a lot. And the other thing is when you get in the room, there's going to be a grunt, and they're going to want to get on that plasma turret. And they are relentless with that plasma turret, and they will just take your shields out quickly and kill you quickly. So once again, I'm not using my drop wall, but I will here shortly. So as before, with a lot of these rooms, just trying to get a foothold and get yourself a place where you can at least get into the room and establish some cover and establish an area for fighting, and just one enemy at a time. Just take one at a time. Just kind of slow play it, and reduce their numbers. But really, the priority here at this point, that these guys are kind of dug in, is to take out that turret. It's hard to actually destroy the turret itself, so it's just using the stalker to kill enemies there. So once one is dead, then another one is going to hop up and get up there. and being this drop wall has not been upgraded. It's the very basic drop wall, and so it doesn't have much strength to it all. It's very paper thin. There goes another grunt trying to get to the turret. Oddly, the brute isn't getting on the turret, and I'll be going through almost all this stalker rifle ammo. Now I take this coil and I make what appears to be like a really good throw. Just nailed the turret, but it didn't break it. Not only that, I don't think it even killed the grunt. The grunt's still alive. Got lucky with those rockets. I mean, they just kind of whiz by, and I throw a second one at those. So there's a sniper on the left side and the right side. And yeah, he's kind of dug in. I can't get a shot on him. I think my shield is down. They already took my shield out. I'm having to really... I'm exposing myself. Still getting shot. My shield core is maxed out as far as equipment. As I mentioned earlier, the grapple is maxed out. The threat sensor is on level 3 of 4, upgraded to like tier 3 of 4.
Oh, come on, I picked this up! Let's go!
Yeah, I tried to pick up and it didn't let me pick up that weapon. Yeah, I'm glad that rocket didn't kill me, and I don't know what was going on with that headshot. But got him. There's another brute major on the left side, along with the jackal on the left side, and you can see with the threat sensor, another brute down bottom mid. Now there's a choice to be made in this room. It's got 2 power seeds you need to unlock the door, and you can do that without having to kill all enemies. So it turns out I can plant 1 seed, zip over to the other, plant the other seed, and then just leave the room. So the choice is, if you want to continue carrying your stockpile, you're going to have to fight and kill off everything, because if you're trying to leave the room, you're going to be leaving your stockpile behind. I try and pile up only the necessities that I need to take, which I decided would be 3 weapons. It would be the stalker, the pulse carbine, and I want to say the sword. And I'll be carrying the BR and the plasma pistol, so I'm not necessarily counting those. Those I'm carrying. I can carry 2. And there's going to be 3 weapons I'm going to place at the door. And doing the right way, you can juggle all 3 of them. Just get them through the doorway. Essentially, is pretty much what I would try to do, is just get them through the doorway. And so the choice is, do you want to fight off all the enemies so that you can move your stockpile, or are you going to just take the bare minimum, try and juggle it out the door? It's a risky bet, because there's a bit of an abyss. There's a bit of a it's pretty much a bridge. You walk out and it's a little bit of a lobby, and if there's a nade that blows up, it can send your stuff flying down into the abyss. You know, it'll be gone. So here I'm taking out the brute first. The wall protected me well enough from the disruptor. I think there's just 1 front left. Yeah, it's just the 1 grunt left. And I tried to grapple him, and I didn't have my grapple out. But I got my shield back. And now I can plan for the next step. Now my plan here is to, as I was mentioning, I'm going to take the 2 power seeds and place them by the console to plant them. And as it works out, I can plant one, grapple to the second one, quickly plant it, and then you can just leave the room and not have to fight the enemies. And I can't really say these enemies are a showstopper. They're not going to prevent you from completing or finishing or going through the game. But the challenge here is getting through the door, getting my weapons through the door. I'm going to leave behind the rocket launcher, the heat wave. There may be another weapon. I can't think of it. But really, it's just going to be the... I'm going to carry Plasma Pistol BR. I want to get the Pulse Carbine, Stalker, and Sword. I had to do this a couple times. By the way, just making sure the Pulse Carbine and the Plasma Pistol is fully charged. I also want to make sure I'm full with nades. And need to fill up my BR. And I gotta go find another ammo dispenser. Juggles. I think there's one further back. Yeah, it's in this room. Now the Plasma Pistol is full. I just made sure the Pulse Carbine is full. So in this room, if you decide...
Another disabled door.
By the way, I'll
I'll
let
say
this
when things
dialogue
are
play
finished.
out.
When they have an idea, they stick with it.
In this room, if you choose to kill off the enemies, each door when it opens, there's going to be a berserker come through, and then just various grunts, and I think a brute major from each door. So you'll definitely have your hands full. There's a couple coils that you can throw at them, throw nades. I mean, you can kill them. It can be done. It's just a little annoying. But being that you got the option where I can just open the door and just run through it, well then I'm gonna choose to do that and try and take what I can carry. The berserkers are really kind of a big challenge. I think one of my things I keep forgetting is I can grapple pound these guys, and for the longest time in this mission I forget about it. Interesting how I grappled rather well on that, and then as I try and do it the other way, it didn't grapple. And it slowed me down.
Power. Find another one.
I ended up having some kind of the trouble I was having was I was trying to juggle the Pulse Carbine. So I juggled the 1 or 2 weapons I had there, and it did not. I mean, I went 3 and 4 times
Hear that?
going through the door, and it
coming
just
from up
wouldn't
ahead.
pick up the Pulse Carbine, and I couldn't figure it out. Even there were 2 of those times where I was mashing the button on the controller so hard I thought I was going to break the controller, and it just wouldn't pick it up. And then they throw that dynamo after I had a full shield and I was good to go. So I have to make my way over here and punch something so I can get my shield back. You know, it's a little kind of nerve-wracking because I'm expecting nades to be thrown. I'm expecting to like throw a nade or deal with nades or something like that. So it worked out okay. They threw and broke that. If they threw another one, I've already been in trouble. If this guy steps forward, he's not going to chase me through the door, and I'm good to go. So I got what I needed, got my shield, and I start heading the wrong way. Not a left turn, it's a right turn. And so the other thing here is, once you activate this plinth and activate this, the door behind you will lock. You won't be able to go back any further.
What were those flying things?
No. Dangerous.
And Despondent Pyre?
No. Potentially dangerous.
See, you can be optimistic.
Okay, the next section of this fight is kind of a long haul. It's kind of a long curved haul. There's going to be 3 of these. These first 2 are going to be pretty much grunts, jackals, and the doorway is guarded by an elite. The second long hallway, the first portion you come to, there's going to be a couple elites, and then a bunch of like jackals and, you know, skirmishers, grunt here and there, and then another elite at the exit of the door. So I'll go over those details when we get there. I was looking to try and shoot something, but the jackals, or even the skirmishers, they're like hawks. They've got really good eyes. They catch a shadow and they're gonna let everyone know that they see an enemy, and then everyone will be alerted. So I didn't get a chance to take out any of the grunts. And like I was saying, it's just a bit of a slow play here. I got a foothold, so I can now take my weapons down. And I'm checking to make sure that plasma pistol stayed, and I tried to grapple it, and I didn't have my grapple out. Now this is probably a place where I could use the stalker, but I end up just going with the plasma pistol. There's going to be plenty of, there's going to be some more plasma ammo, and plasma pistols dropped by jackal miners, so there won't be a shortage of plasma pistol. I don't have to worry about that. And there's going to be also, there'll be enough pulse carbine in crates. Here, this crate right here has got a plasma pistol on it. You know, along with a couple anglers that I won't use. In that corner is a brute. I'm sorry, not a brute, a grunt, and he didn't show up on the threat sensor. And he's gonna be giving me some grief here in a moment, right here. Yeah, I just got my shield back, and
Oh, you gotta be kidding
yeah,
me.
he's not showing up on the threat sensor.
How is he not showing up? He's inside the field. I can see the thing glowing on him, and he was not being highlighted. Oh my goodness.
Alright, so I got my weapons down here. I can kind of move them along. Yeah, some of this part won't get sped up. It's just going to kind of slow things down. The barrels I'm going to want to carry... I'm sorry, barrels. Coils. I just use a coil on the elite down here, and See what I can get killed off of them. They're kind of inconsistent with the usage of them. So I got grunts. I can just noob thunder these guys. There is a kinetic ammo dispenser in this section. And it just showed up there as I did the scan in the center part of the screen. And now all's left is the elite. And I'm going to look for a coil, the hard light coil. Like I was talking about inconsistencies with it, you can throw it, hit them in the face, not take their shield out, throw them, hit them in the face, make them kill them. Throw it at their feet so that they get some kind of splash damage and sends them flying into like the wall and it'll kill them. Do the same thing and it do nothing. It's just kind of roll the dice with what you're gonna get. It'd be good to know if anyone has picked up on recognized any kind of consistencies or recognized your best method of usage on it. You want a direct hit, you want to hit them in the head, you want to hit them at the feet, you want to hit them 2 feet away from where they stand, in front of them, behind them, and hit them in the knees, hit them in the midsection. What is the most effective way of doing it? So that was a direct hit. Might have hit him on the shoulder and he went flying. But after all, what's the difference between hitting him on the shoulder or the side as opposed to hitting him in the face or the top of the head? In any case. So this is the first section. This is pretty much part 1 of one of the long hauls. There's going to be another grunt down in there. So I can go get, if I don't have a shield, I can do this. So make sure that I'll get a shield. And after I take care of them, I gotta make sure that I refill my BR. And I didn't have my grapple out.
Stay close and safely retreat.
Laying around. Now I'll get to speed this up. I really only need to take 1 sword, so I don't need to carry multiple swords or backups or anything, like spares or anything like that. So what's important to move along here is plasma pistol, pulse carbine. When you get to the 3rd long haul section, you at least want to have 2 full pulse carbines. You'll use a lot of those because there's going to be a lot of brutes, and 1 plasma pistol will be enough because there's going to be plasma pistols around and this and that. So here I'm going to refill my BR. There's no weapons of interest in that side hallway. There's no coils. There's some coils here that I just wasn't thinking about because I'm going to want to, at least that'll be my plan, is to use a couple coils on the elites down here. Now coming up here, what would be nice or ideal would be in that these elites are just in idle mode, they're in patrol mode, their shields are not active. So if I can sneak up and get to them, I can shoot them and just get headshots on them and kill them. But it turns out that they got a jackal or a skirmisher. Yeah, it's a jackal, probably a jackal minor. Yeah, it's a major. And if he sees me, if he even sees a shadow, he'll squawk. And those elites will have their shields on, and then you lose your chance of being able to. And so they're already in defensive mode, so you lose your chance to get headshots on them. And even just I try and walk toward the doorway. You know, I've had times where I've just tried to do it and then suicide. They squawk, and they know right away before I even see them or get to them. And that jackal will not walk away. He stays stationary. He's watching this doorway. And the moment you even shoot everyone's alerted and knows what's going on. So the plan here is just these two elites. They are not exactly working together, and you're not exactly going to be fighting both of them at the same time. It really will come out to like one at a time, and that's really how you want to frame it and how you want to execute it. I was fully expecting him to throw a nade. Do that. I don't know what it is I'm looking for back here. Oh, I'm looking for a coil, and there's hard light coils. There's two of them here to the left, and I just turned and missed them. But I will manage to pick one up here as I make this trip. I'll find one. And I just walk past it, but I'll realize it, and I'll get it. I find with one of the changes they made with the game, because of the way people have taken advantage of the coils, you stack a bunch of them, make a big bomb, or you stand on one and shoot and get yourself a lot of, you know, height, or be able to soar high or whatever. So you can't exactly stack a bunch of coils next to each other, and I have found a couple times is I've carry a coil, and if I walk too close to one, it'll disappear. Not necessarily the one I'm carrying, but the one on the ground. If I walk too close to it, bump it or touch it, it'll disappear. I also find, as you saw, those two coils are really close to each other. You go to pick one of them up, and you're so close that because of that, what they have in place, then it'll cause the other one to disappear. So you'll pick one up, and then the other one disappears, and it's gone. And so you just want to just grapple it, and you'll be good to go. And I also make sure I don't walk too close to them. So as you saw, as I set that one down as far right hand side of the doorway as I could, so I can walk by and not risk it, despawning and disappearing. As you say, I move, and then here I try and throw it or drop it, and it keeps wanting to land on that slanted portion, and keeps sliding into the middle, and I don't want it to do that, and it's just gonna do it again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so all right, come on, give me a break. So I'll go back for the last one. Think about it, I probably could have sped this portion up as well. Seems like a lot of work. I could just OPP, stick with the plasma, OPP headshot. But I'm gonna go with throwing the hard light coil. And he's just waiting. And I think it just killed him. And I'm not sure why I didn't throw it right away. So I throw that one, and like I was saying, and he ducks. And I had the wrong nade out. Oh my goodness. Here I want to OPP, and then I want to headshot him. Here we go. I got those two down. And I need to look for a couple nades. Las pistol's full now. Got both of my nades. Now I gotta make sure they're selected. Now they're selected. I hope they're selected. Hope that could have been just the sound of changing to the threat sensor. Building up the stockpile. Got these items. I only need to move one plasma pistol. The the last part of this, the exit. When you get through the exit, there's a room that's got a trapdoor that you open up and fall down into the lower deck or the lower room. And in the room, the upper part of the room, there's a rack with 2 pulse carbines and a full plasma pistol. And so I really need just to carry, probably just carry just one plasma pistol, and I probably can grab the other plasma pistol and have it go down there, and I can just leave it there and just carry the one and carry the 2 pulse carbines. As I was saying, this is the second long haul. The third long haul is going to be mostly brutes, which means more pulse carbine. So you want to take a second one. These guys are just going to be headshots. I think it's just all jackals in the elite. I don't know if there's any more grunts. Yeah, come on, headshot. Let's go. This is the last coil, heatwave coil. I don't think there's any coils in this section, I don't recall. I don't see any showing up on the scan. And the shot missed. Just went right over his head. You gotta stick him, it goes between his legs. Now I got 2 jackals I gotta deal with. And that was the last thing I needed, was deal with more than one enemy at a time, and they're helping him out. And I just rather work on him one-on-one. I got to stick him in the face. Punch. Come on, get the headshot. Can't get the headshot because I had to reload.
I'm on! God damn!
Then it turns out there's one more elite. There was actually 2 here at the exit.
How it ended up reloading, and it took way too long. I am pulling the trigger, and it's not shooting, and by the time I shot, I was out of... Did not have the aim.
Yeah, that was frustrating because I'm like trying to get the he's an easy headshot, just an easy headshot. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. And had to reload. It took too long, and then he got where I couldn't shoot him. Now I've got grenades back. So my plan here is to OPP, stick them, and then stab them once or twice. Sounds easy enough to do. Not sure what I'm going back for. I think I'm adjusting got my nades selected. Put the threat sensor out. So it's just the one elite. So OPP, stick, stab. And what do you know?
Oh my
He
God,
goes
he missed.
through his legs.
Hold the front lines while I am gone.
And so plasma pistol is full. I unsure where the ammo is on my DR. See, here's the room that's got the trap door that you just throw a switch and it opens up.
Really?
So I mentioned earlier, the plan here is to take a full plasma pistol, 2 pulse carbines, a sword, and I'm also guessing probably the stalker rifle, which I won't even get any usage of it. And that room that I was just the destination where I'm going, that room has a rack with a full plasma pistol and 2 full pulse carbines. So there's going to be 2 camo elites that come through the door down below. I don't know if it's on a trigger, or I mean like a timer trigger, or if it's a line that you walk across that triggers the sequence with them coming through the door. 2 camo elites with swords, and they're aggressive. They will come right after you. And so there's options. There are options you can do with this, and so I choose kind of a mix option with an OPP stick and then stab them. And I don't know why I abandoned, you'll see what happens with the first one. And I could have finished them off, and I'm not sure what I panicked on. Alright, so I'm going to get started here. When I drop this down, I don't know why I brought 2 swords, because I'll be able to pick up 2 swords from the elites. So I'm going to drop the BR, pulse carbine, and I'm going to OPP and stab and stick these guys as they, get close.
Unface me and live.
And here I can stab, and I can stab him one more time, but I think I was too close to him or something. The other one was getting aggressive. So he didn't get his shield back, and I was able to get a hold of him. I was kind of surprised at how I was able to grapple that column, because it looked to be pretty far away. Here I got unlucky and flipped the wall. So he stabbed me, but I had my shield core is full. Oh, that's hilarious. These guys are simple, just noob combo. And also come in handy if by chance you don't manage to get your shield back off these guys, then you can use those grunts and just melee one. I think what I do here is I just want to fill the plasma pistol and max out its ammo, so I'm going to climb back up. Which is why I was thinking should I just take 2 plasma pistols down there and just move one of them, and if I have to go back for ammo, I can just go back to that room and maybe move it along into the long hallway area. And so from here, I'm just going to move just a few of these items. The 2 pulse carbines, plasma pistol, stalker, sword. So it takes a little while to move these items, move this stockpile. And like I was saying, just repeat myself, I don't think I even used the stalker rifle, so don't need to move it anymore. It could come in handy. I can see there's a possible use for it. And it's up to you guys if you want to, you know, with what weapons you move along. Okay, it looks like there's 2 brutes, 2 jackals, like 2 skirmishers, grunt, probably just a single grunt. Looks like 3 brutes, 3 brute majors. You can see that shield wall, and there's brute on the other side of that wall, so he doesn't necessarily count in this grouping. There'll be probably 5 brutes on the next section. There's like the little passageway to the left that kind of loops around. When you go through there to the into the other side, you'll find plenty of brutes at the other end, like the other side of that shield wall. So here I'm going to do the first upgrade of 4, and I don't have any more Spartan core to upgrade it. And I will get a little bit of usage out of it. Alright, moving up to see what kind of surprise kills I can get. And it worked out that all 3 of them were in proximity. Very, very efficient. Worked on the brute. Kind of surprising, the other brutes are not firing. A good shot on the barrel. And good result. And another surprise. Brute takes a knee, ready to fire, and doesn't shoot. So there's 3 enemies off into the little hallway off to the left. I'm just going to gather weapons at this point before moving in on them. Turns out I got 2 grunts, 2 grunt ultras, and a jackal. It's a jackal miner. This other grunt is hiding behind a barrier, and this jackal is going to push up. Save the jackal for melee. And then back to moving the stockpile and getting ready for the next room. next room that's going to have a number of brutes, probably 5 call. And at the this little hallway here that kind of curves or loops, it's kind of a half loop. There's the very same thing that's just a little further down past this upcoming room, and there's going to be a mounted plasma turret, and it will be operated by a jetpack brute major. He'll have a heat wave, but he'll sit on that turret and he'll use it. So I'm not necessarily want to jump out and dance out in the open, so I'm going to want to stay in cover so I'm not exposed too much and have just get shot up by him. But I'll be able to slowly and surely, one at a time, just take out one of these brutes at a time. They're going to be sitting just waiting. They're really just kind of crouched and waiting to shoot. So I'll be using some drop wall and threat sensors to figure out what they're doing. So he's just waiting. You got 2 guys just waiting. There's a third one there, just waiting to shoot. And I find it interesting. I step out and they see me and they don't shoot. So it's kind of odd. I'm expecting these guys to shoot. He finally pulled the trigger. I can't put a drop wall down and throw a coil through it, so I didn't bother with, yeah, so interesting. Now, if I had a drop wall down, it wouldn't have gone through. I think I'm getting kind of fortunate that those rockets aren't really getting to me. I guess he's aiming where I'm at, and I'm, you know, in cover beyond this wall. Yeah, that nade did some damage to the walls. I'm gonna have to let it recharge before I can deploy it. And I can noob combo. There's the brute major, the jetpack brute major. Oh, sorry. Alright, plasma pistol, noob combo. There's one grunt in this grouping. More brutes ahead. Drop wall down. Really interesting here. Ended up in the rafters. Now I gotta work on that jetpack brute major. Shot he moved. Interesting. Didn't get the splash damage on the first shot, but got the splash damage where it launched him on the second shot. There's going to be some grunts and jackals. Actually, it's a jackal, and then there's a brute waiting. So there's a third room around another one of these little side hallways. So I'm going to kind of regroup again and move my weapons along. I got this one. Here's a full rocket launcher I'm carrying. Fill up my BR. Moved up, got the stockpile moving. Generous amount of BR. Save the oil for the fruit. Major. Got a grunt coming. And, oh, what do you know? It killed him.
These guns are.
What did he drop? Plasma pistol. I guess he dropped the pistol and two other weapons. Seeing I got that plasma turret, one helpful thing with that is while you carry it, you can see the condition of your shield. If it's got damage or not. Got two swords. One is just a spare. I don't even know if they're both full or not. I don't even think I end up using it. But it's one of those, it's just ideal to have, so you can just, okay, I just need to stab someone to get my shield back, and so I don't have to punch them half a dozen times. And if there's like another enemy helping out. So here, just use the plasma turret, take the shield out. And I was gonna fire a rocket. I had to use 2 shots. Okay, waited long enough so I can now redeploy the drop wall. Hit the next one. Yep, my shield is down. One more brute. And there's a skirmisher and a major. I'm gonna save the major to melee to get my shield back. Now this brute is starting to push up. It's a little aggressive. Just waiting to shoot me. Hope he doesn't shoot again. If he shoots again, I'm gonna die. And that jackal can easily kill me with 1 shot. I turn and get aggressive. I guess I'm just getting impatient. But this was just a bad move, but it worked out. Right here in the open, he shoots and misses, and I would have been dead. it wouldn't have mattered where he shot me. It would have been enough to kill me. So now all the enemies are down. The next hallway, long hallway that is, the third section, no enemies. So at this point, the next fight is the arena, and all I really need to take is whatever rocket launchers I can carry and a sword. And I don't end up using the sword, but it probably could have come in handy to kill the skimmers quicker in the upcoming fight. There's just options. There was just various options. I'm juggling all kinds of weapons around in the arena and getting them placed for the start, and I was just indecisive. Do I want to go with the BR? Do I want to go with the shock rifle? I'm going to go with the rocket launcher. Am I going to go with the cinder shot, the heat wave? I mean, there was lots of weapons, lots of choices. And it was just spent some time trying to piece it together. So here, moving 2 rocket launchers and a sword. But as it was necessary to move a 3rd weapon, because I won't be able to juggle 2 rocket launchers at the same time. If you're carrying one, you can't pick up and juggle the second one. The best you can do is just grapple it along. Here it looks like I'm at the end of the hallway, and now I'm getting down to the arena. I get down this hallway here to the arena below. And it's a little lobby outside the arena. There'll be 2 stalker rifles and a shock rifle, and I'll be bringing them along. Options. But as it turns out, there's 2 racks, if not more, of 2 stalker rifles, and there'll be another rack or 2 with another shock rifle. Against the skimmers, the shock rifle just takes a long time to shoot. Takes a long time to reload. The BR is somewhat effective, but it seems inconsistent with getting headshots. And I find that when doing this fight, you want to be moving. You want to be moving a lot. You want to be moving frequently. And there's a rack with stalkers. So I won't even use the stalker. Won't even use the stalker rifles. There's going to be 2 racks with 2 cinder shots, so you can have 2 full cinder shots, 2 fully loaded ones. And the cinder shot is the weapon to really work with. I find that I can use a full one, pretty much most of the ammo for this fight, but I'm not using it exclusively. I'll use the BR some, the BR rocket launcher to start, and at some point I'll drop the BR for the cinder shot. The cinder shot just is great. It works great. There's some inconsistencies with it, but it works really. It's very effective. Especially effective on like the berserkers. There's a jetpack brute major that just takes them out with a single shot, and takes out the skirmishers. The skimmers. Well, it's very effective on the skimmers. So I'm placing items here, so if I'm land near here, I can get in relative cover here, pick up a change of weapon, whatever I'm trying to do, and then you got to get right back on the lift and move on. I'm going to get the full cinder shot and get that placed. And then I run up here ready to start, and I realize I want the BR rocket launcher combo. And here where I was thinking would be good to have, say, a sword is at least start with the BR and sword, because you're going to get 3 of these skimmers right in front of you, and the headshots are just, it seems inconsistent. I don't know if it's just really hard hitting them, or you got to get the, you know, it has to be precise or wherever it needs to be. But I found it inconsistent getting headshots on these guys. They move and float around, so I think it just makes it difficult to get the shot. Get the cutscene. They're all kind of bouncing around. It's hard to get that shot. There's another one. So I could actually just stab a bunch of them, and then more come down from up above.
I'm picking up
So
reinforcements.
I could stab
coming
a
our way.
bunch of them. So
Remember
here
when you
comes
said new
a
and
berserker.
dangerous?
And you know, you
You
kill
were
these guys and
right.
they drop rocket launchers. Or here comes the berserkers, and there's 2 of them
Taking
here.
longer than I thought. Something is taking control of local systems.
Yeah, I just cannot get that headshot. I keep bumping into whatever that thing is
Where
fighting.
are all these skimmers coming from?
Is that what we're calling them?
Well,
Yeah,
I
still
was
can't
also
get the
considering
headshot.
flying octopus monkeys.
See here at the sword,
Skimmers
then
are
I
those
could just
then.
stab them, and it would work out well. See here, you don't want to sit there too long because they got rocket launchers and they will start shooting. And notice how they move. They were moving out of the way. Fire that rocket, and they were clearing out. So yeah, don't sit still. You sit here too long, you got rockets coming in. More came down from the sky, from the ceiling below. And I just got a shield back and started taking damage. And if they aren't shooting rockets, they're gonna throw dynamos. Here I want to get my shield back. And just get the shield back, and again I'm taking damage. I'm touching up on these weapons so they don't despawn. I just keep alive. So now it's cinder shot time.
Eyes up, Chief. More of them.
The door.
I know. The code is being rewritten.
I
Altered using a Forerunner routine.
want to say this is the last wave of enemies, and there'll be reinforcements of the last wave. Rocket launcher works well there. Yeah, I do not want that BR despawning, so I'll make sure I keep that alive.
Enemy reinforcements.
So reinforcements is going to be a jetpack brute major, and then just more skimmers. That door. And one cinder shot took out that jetpacker. And one skimmer remains, and he's done. So is the weapon.
I'm done. Come get me.
I'll spend some time trying to gather weapons. There's rocket launchers everywhere. I could probably get 3 full rocket launchers or more. But I think all I really need is as many cinder shots as I can take, which is going to be 1 full one and a second one, which will be kind of a spare. It won't necessarily be full. It'll be close. But really, the next fight is a jetpack brute major, and he can be an easy kill with a single rocket or cinder shot, and then 2 scrap chieftains or scrap cannon chieftains. And with them, originally, and what's been part of the routine, is I'll stand at the doorway with a drop wall and use a what do you call it, the shock rifle and stalker rifle, and just try and wear down their shields, knock off their helmet, and so they can be a headshot. But work it out to where I keep one of them alive, he can get his shield back, so I can take the shield out without too much trouble, so that he's just a headshot, and then work on the second one and do the same. But I find when the first one takes a good deal of damage, then the second one wants to hide, and you won't be able to get any shots on him from the doorway anymore. But now the new plan is I can kind of do a hybrid of it. It's just work my way and whittle down the first one from the doorway. I think mainly because if you get into that room, that big elevator room, you don't want both of them shooting you at the same time. You can put you can use the doorway as a bottleneck and a drop wall, and just kind of shoot through it, and just take your time and slow play it, and just shoot and kill one of them with the shock rifle, stalker rifle, and you get one of them dead, and the other one will hide. Then you can just walk in with a cinder shot and rocket launcher, and a combination of the two, you'll be able to take out the second one with minimal effort. Cinder shot's really going to be good enough to just blast them and send them flying, and it'll kill them. Here I'm filling up the BR. The BR is full. I'm going to take shock, stalker, cinder shot. And lastly, rocket launcher. So it's a hefty stockpile. That room below is going to have the jetpack group major. First off, I got the thruster module to collect. And at the conclusion of the cutscene, the door will open and a brute major will come through. And it gives you the opportunity to get your shield back. Mine's damaged, so I'll... got options to like remove a shield and punch him out, or maybe I just punch him. I'm trying to figure out what am I gonna do here. Well, this is a bladed weapon. See if that helps. Yeah, he's ready. He's already. He knows something's up. Didn't like firing that weapon because I want to use it for the chieftains. Last pass, look, make sure what I got. Right. Jetpack brute major. He's just a little to the left, just outside the range of the threat sensor. I'll see him here. There he is. And he heard that. That worked out well. One shot. Alright, here it comes. Getting ready for this last fight. Two chieftains. I was saying, so you don't want to take them on both together at the same time. So fight from the doorway, and it's gonna take your time. You get the shield down and get damage, and shoot, get the helmet knocked off. Make him an easy kill, and try and if possible, you can try and do damage on the other one. If you can get his
Chief,
shield
that
down
platform.
and
We're
do
too
some
late.
damage to his helmet.
Not yet.
But when you do damage to one of them, then the other one wants to hide. The other one, he's not in sight. Don't have a line of sight on him. Kind of surprising because they do kind of both want to work together and they'll both shoot. Try and get damage. First portion of his helmet's off, and now there's a second layer of helmet to knock off. And it looks like, yep, clean. So got the headshot. The other one, as expected, is relatively out of sight. And once you take a shot on him, then he will step into cover. There he goes, got my shots, and now he steps into cover. You're going to have to go in the arena. You're going to have to go into that room. And so here, all I really need to take along is bring the BR in, and then carry the rocket launcher and cinder shot. So my plan here is to see what the cinder shot's gonna do. I've seen times where one single cinder shot, one shot can kill him. That's 4, 5. I fired 5 shots. Still had 2 rocket shots. Take the shield and 1 shot. With cinder shot, and there you go.
Persistent.
Did they kill Sparky
Got
Sorrell?
launched.
Negative. His killers are still active.
So then here at this point, I think I'm just indecisive with what secondary weapon to carry. And so I spent some time trying to figure out what it's going to be, but I don't think it's really even relevant because in the next section, I think I'm going to carry a sniper rifle for Spire. So I can kind of snipe some of the brute snipers from distance. And so it doesn't matter what I take with me for a secondary weapon. I think I take the cinder shot. I don't even know if I use it. I think I do use it once or twice for something. So yeah, here I'm just indecisive. PR's full.
This elevator, it's taking us back to the surface. It doesn't make sense. Why come all the way down here just to kill the monitor?
The monitor's purpose is to protect the ring.
So why kill her?
No idea.
Wrapping up this mission as it is coming to a close. Thank you for joining me for the Conservatory. Be sure to join me on Mission 7 Spire.